to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine. We're on episode 281. Thank you in advance for your subscription, your positive review, and your comments. Thank you for subscribing to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thank you for telling a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And this is just not a warning, that's not the right word. Just a heads up. We know Christmas is on its way, which means Podmas is coming up. Podmas, for those who may not be familiar, shout out to the new listeners, is my rendition of Vlogmas, which is... So Vlogmas is this like YouTube trend where you'll post a video, a vlog for, some people do it every day of December up until Christmas. And some people do it like starting from a certain date up until Christmas, whatever it looks like. My rendition is 12 episodes of this podcast starting from the 12th of December. And these episodes will be about 30 minutes. And it's just a special treat from me to you. So again, Podmas is on its way, coming up soon. December 12th will be here before you know it. And with that being said, I will not be doing an episode next week. So all next week, both December 5th and December 8th, there will not be a new episode of this podcast. Okay? So again, no new episode next week, but Podmas begins December 12th. So look forward to that. An episode every day for 12 days, starting from December 12th. All right, so that's my housekeeping. Let's get into these topics. So, Lauryn Hill said, never mind. She said, I know I just started this tour. I know I just went viral not too long ago talking about how y'all should be lucky I even get on this stage. She has decided to cancel the remaining dates of her tour. I don't know how many dates she had left, but she decided to cancel it, including the upcoming show that's in Philadelphia on November 25th. Well, actually, no, that passed actually from reading this. Yeah. So that was 2 days ago at this time of this recording. And yeah, she said, never mind. I feel so sorry for whoever still bought tickets to see her. It's a slap in the face. And I understand she's an artist. And some artists, I guess they feel like they could do whatever they want because they've done the work or they sacrifice their time and they are revered. And look, her album, that one album that she's released years ago, really has certified itself as a classic for many people. Honestly, I don't remember. Actually, no, there's a few songs that I do remember from it. So I'm not gonna take that credit away from her. I just think in all actuality, it's really just offensive how much she doesn't give a fuck about her fans. Like, that's really what it is. Like, there's no care in the world. And surely your art is yours, right? The way that you express yourself is up to you, and how you do that is up to you. But I just think there should be some type of regard, considering how much she has been supported by her fans and how much she has been revered by her fans. But she has decided, never mind, I will not continue this tour. Her reason is the following. So she took to Instagram actually to explain herself. And she says that she's been severely struggling with severe vocal strains for the past month. And that, unfortunately, led to her relying on something called prednisone to endure the tour. But she's decided to take a break for genuine vocal recovery. And she has also decided to discontinue the medication. She says, quote, "As many of you may know, I've been battling serious vocal strain for the past month. I made it through each show by taking prescribed prednisone, but this can be detrimental to the body when taken in large amounts over long periods of time. In order to prevent any long-term negative effect on my voice and my body, I need to take time off to allow for real vocal recovery so that I can discontinue the medication completely." Lauren, you don't get the fuck out of my face. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, Lauren, what are we doing? Huh? I mean, whatever happened to lemon honey tea? Whenever your voice is gone or if it's a little shaky, whatever happened to taking some lemon honey tea? That is a solution every time. Every time. She has been a vocalist for 30 years at this point, and she hasn't figured out a solution for something as common as vocal strain. Girl, yeah, I would be pissed first of all, I would be pissed if I even bought this ticket, but I'll be pissed knowing that, okay, she decided to not continue the tour. Now, I'm assuming, I'm not going to read further, but I'm assuming this will obviously let her fans who purchased tickets to get a full refund. Hopefully the refund is a taxed. Like, hopefully it's more than just full refund. Hopefully it's like an extra full, let it be a fuller refund, because at this point, girl, do you even want to be on the stage? Don't come on. Like, I feel like at this point, don't even get on stage anymore. Don't even project yourself as the Lauryn Hill that we know. Don't. Because if you can't perform and sing the songs and follow through on your tours and yada yada, then don't even show up. Don't do it. Like, what are we talking about? So there we have it. Lauryn Hill said, never mind. And I feel like with her, like, there are so many artists who truly retire, like, who truly say, yeah, I'm done with this music thing. I gave it a good 20 years of my life, and I am ready to move on to other ventures. And I feel like Lauryn Hill, it's about time for her to say the same. Like, it's truly about time for her to say she's done with this, because she really can't commit to anything when it comes to her musical career, and it's pretty disappointing to say the least. But considering that she is someone who is constantly late when she gets on stage, you know, sometimes don't even show up, whatever that looks like for for her, I think that says enough. That says enough. So this is what it is. This is not surprising, and I wish her well. So, speaking of records, this man named Pardison, or he's also called Pardi, P-A-R-D-I. Pardison, aka Pardison Fontaine, is known as a ghost writer in the music industry. And he also has songs of his own, I believe. He actually released a new record. Check it out. It's called The Person, something like that. And it's actually a diss track or a reply to Megan Thee Stallion's song called Cobra. And for those who may not know, Megan Thee Stallion and Pardison Fontaine were together romantically for, I don't know, a couple of years. And he and she, for a time, were revered as this couple goals. You know how online there is the hashtag of couple goals or black love, and for a while they were that staple, considering how much they seemingly loved each other. And maybe they did, I'm sure they did, anyway, they did. And things just didn't work out for a plethora of reasons, and we'll get to that. But before we knew anything, if I get this fucking, sorry, my Tourette's is coming out. Excuse me. Okay, so I feel like with them, they were revered so well because of just the aesthetics. Like, I think they just look good together. I also feel like she's a big girl, not like fat, but like thick and tall, and like she's literally a stallion. So her name is very fitting. And for him to be this manly man, but he wasn't just like he wasn't this like too brolic type of physique. He really matched her, or like he knew how to handle that type of body. And I think, there was a picture that was floating around the internet of him picking her up and holding her, like she's jumping on him and he's holding her, something like that. And it's just like, okay, y'all seem to be having fun. I see how it looks like. I can only imagine, right? What they may get into sexually. Like, it seems like he could handle her. Like, he's not running away from that ass and she's not running away from his dick, type of thing, There's also a picture of her. She's not necessarily on her knees, but she's like on her forearms on the floor, and her legs are straddled around his waist as he's seated on the couch playing Grand Theft Auto. I don't know, I don't think Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto still a game. That's the only game I really know aside from The Sims. Shout out to The Sims. I love that game. I used to play it all the time. I don't think about getting back to it, but I have other things, Anyway, the point is, they that picture, like she's straddling him, right, and he's seated focusing on the game, and it's just like, it's a cute pic. So they really look good together. They ended up not working out because it was like during the height of when she got shot, allegedly, and he was supporting her. Like, he still stood by her, but she had to go to trial, and like there were some things that were revealed during discovery, and come to find out, she really did sleep with Tory Lanez, and she really did have all these other relationships that were proven to be true under the court of law, according to the evidence that was surfaced and that was provided. And just like putting two and two together, it just really painted the picture of her truly not being honest with him, and it eventually led to their demise, right? Okay, boom. So we see shortly thereafter, she's pictured with another brolic, dark-skinned man, looking brolic and dark-skinned, right? So he is apparently a football player from another country. And they're together at this wedding overseas. And they're each other's dates. So we're looking at it like, oh, okay, so she moved on to him. And we haven't seen Party with anyone new, which is fine. Like, you don't have to immediately be with someone new. But the point is, we see her show up with someone else who looks like this, right? Like, of that same ilk. Anyway, so she released a song called Cobra. And in this song, Megan Thee Stallion is talking a lot about how she is going through depression and she's having a hard time like shedding that skin or something along those lines, right? And it's very deep, very profound, very honest, very authentic, and brave, you know, to talk about suicidal ideations or just depressive moments or feeling uncomfortable in your skin. All these things are difficult topics to broach, and for her to do it so well and eloquently in that song, it's really a testament to her talent. Now, there's a lyric in that song in which she she outright says, without saying his name, but we could obviously point out that she's talking about Party, that she caught him sleeping with another woman in the bed that she sleeps. In the bed that Megan Thee Stallion sleeps in. So there's a podcast that I listen to, and they're like breaking it down, saying how, oh, does this mean that it's in his house and she's just sleeping on his bed, and like they're not living together, or like whose bed is it type of thing. Like, really, if it's the man's bed, technically he could do whatever he wants in the bed. Like, that was the position that was being presented in that episode that I watched of someone else's podcast. And I was cracking up, like, oh, I guess that's technical, right? Like, who are you to tell me what I do in my bed, right? If we're not living together. But, like, okay, that's crazy. Anyway, yeah, right? So, shortly thereafter, right, he releases a song, Party. And let's get into these lyrics, because my God, today. And again, he is a ghostwriter. So he's responsible for the many hits that we've heard over the years, including songs from Cardi B and whomever else. But I know Cardi B is one of them. So he is very well, what's the word? Not celebrated. I mean, he's not celebrated, but like he has a good resume. He knows how to write. He knows how to put words together in a way that really makes you think and really just like makes you ponder on, dang, he really just said that with that. Like, it's very, very talented, very clever. So it says here that Pardison Fontaine dropped a nearly 5-minute song dissing his ex-girlfriend Megan Thee Stallion over the weekend. The song is titled The Person. The song accuses the hot girl of everything from cheating on him to getting liposuction and fooling fans with workout videos on social media. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. Hold on, let me just take a chance. Like I'm out of breath. Sorry. Okay. I've noticed that trend of these celebrities, and I've known that from celebrities, how like they would appear like they're this like gym guru, yet they really just got surgery, and that's why their body looks like that, right? But I also want to expose another scam, because I think I did it myself involuntarily, right? I wasn't trying to scam y'all. So what I'm about to say is basically, so I follow someone else on social media, right? I don't know her personally, but I like her content, and I just like watching what she does online. I know this sounds like weird, but it's not. We're in 2023. This is what we do, right? Anyway, so I noticed her physique. She's slim, but it's not like a concerning slim weight. It's just, you could see that she's slim. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dang, she's very fit. or she wears particular outfits and you don't see a bulge, you don't see anything falling out, everything is kind of well put together. And I'm just like, oh, wow, that's pretty good, like pretty impressive, right? And amongst other things that she talks about in her content, you also see her going to yoga, working out, moving her body. You know how some people don't like to say exercise or work out anymore. They say, I'm moving my body. Bitch, are you doing squats? Are you planking? Okay, you're working out. I'm moving my body. It's like, people want to steer away from like diet culture or any verbiage that makes you feel like you're hating your body. Anyway, I get it, but still, relax. So I'm noticing that, right? So come to find out, in a recent post, I haven't been following her long. I think it's just like a few months now. So I don't know if she said this before, but just recently she shared in a post in her caption that she suffers from PCOS. And one of the symptoms of PCOS is drastic weight loss. And I'm like, bitch, you didn't get that body because you did a couple of squats. Bitch, you didn't get that body because you ran 3 miles every morning. You got it because you're sick. Like, that's it. I'm not trying to be like insensitive to her ailment, right? I just find it to be such a sigh of relief, I feel like. And I hate that I'm laughing right now, but I don't really hate that I'm laughing right now. The point is, it's just so funny to me because sometimes you think like, oh my gosh, I wish I had this person's body, or oh my gosh, why don't I look like that? And I'm saying I didn't feel that way necessarily. I was still admiring just how slim her body was. And for me to learn that, oh, it's really slim because she's sick. Like, she's suffering from an ailment that she's trying to navigate through. That is not something that I should envy. So I say all that to say, appreciate who you are. But no, I mentioned the fact that I probably scam people with that same projection or same perception, because when I was going through my symptoms of what I presumed to be endometriosis, and one of the symptoms was massive weight loss, I was really slim too. And I think maybe there were people who looked at me and thought, oh my gosh, she's so slim. Oh my gosh, I wish I had her body. How do you get so fit, right? Oh my gosh, you look so, how do you get so fit? Do you work out? You look so good. It's like, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. I am suffering in this skin. But yeah, so it's just hey, a little 180 there. But just a little update on that. I don't know if I shared it with you guys. I have healed myself. I think I've healed my body completely from the symptoms that I was experiencing for a couple of years, well, more than a couple of years. And the key ingredient, check out my Instagram, Hey Mamour. But definitely the key ingredient that I put into my daily consumption is turmeric. Turmeric. I've been making these turmeric shots that include turmeric roots, orange, lemon juice, black pepper, and coconut water. I mix that all up together, pour them in these mini glass containers, and I've been taking them every morning for the most part. But when I started it, like just a few months ago, y'all, like I want to say shortly after or right before I moved into my current place, I started taking turmeric shots consistently. And I have yet to feel any of the symptoms that I was experiencing before. That includes the consistent abdominal pains that I was suffering from, the random back pains, the spasms that I felt. All of that was a symptom that I experienced and that I suffered from for quite some time. And I just find it to be very debilitating. Like, it was very disappointing. It was just very it was hard. It was hard to experience. It was hard to go through, and I really just didn't know what to do until I did some further research and decided to take the natural route, because all of the doctor visits just weren't panning out. And I just got tired of always speaking to a doctor, telling about the same thing. What are y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, it just was so annoying. And I healed myself. I haven't felt any of those symptoms. My body is how it's supposed to be naturally. And I think I'm also just trying to embrace my body now. And it's not to say that I'm not cognizant of my weight or anything like that. I think it's still important to be cautious of your body weight and like your mass index, or I think that's what it's called, right? So I think that's still very much important. I just think I am becoming more of a woman now, right? Physically, I just embracing my womanly features, but I'm still on top of, or I'm doing my best to like be on top of, like making sure I'm tight and right. And I'm doing well, and I'm finding workouts that work best for me and what I want to do. I've been liking a lot of Pilates lately, so that's been great. But I say all that to say, there was a part of me that was like missing. Oh my gosh, I remember when I was a little bit skinnier. I remember when I was like kind of bone thin. Like, I was like, you could see the clavicle bones popping up. And in my body now, and I'm talking like I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking fat. I'm not saying that to like hurt anyone, but I'm not overweight. That's the point. I'm not trying to say, I feel like I'm painting a picture like I'm so big or big at all, but I'm a little bit bigger. Like, I feel healthier. I got meat on my bones. And anyway, there's been some times lately I've been thinking like, oh my gosh, I wish I was back to that weight. But that doesn't, I think about how I looked back then, or how I felt back then. I was not feeling well. Like, I was sick. So, I don't want to go back to that time period physically, because what it came with that. Now, of course, if I could go back to that weight in a manner that doesn't make me ill, maybe I'll look into it. I don't know. But the point is, like, I think sometimes we get so caught up in how we look in the past, and we don't embrace how we're looking now and finding the beauty in that. And I do like my body. I love my body. My body's great. My body's fine. I just sometimes think about like, oh my gosh, I look so different back then. But weight fluctuates. So sorry. So weight fluctuates, and something that I am aware of. But yeah, so I healed my body, and that's what's up. Okay, so I brought that up because, yes, there's a line in his song, in Party's song, in which he talks about how she's fooling fans and thinking that she is this workout queen and she lost the weight because yada yada yada, when come to find out it's really because of lipo. And it probably is because of Ozempic as well. There's a lot of girlies now, like a lot of reality show stars are open about their Ozempic consumption. And I don't know, I'm still kind of, how sometimes you think you're confident in your body, and I'm good in my, like, I feel fine in my body. Like, I don't, but sometimes you watch different things, right? Whether it's online or just like watching other people. And then you think to yourself, oh, should I look like that? Oh, is this the standard of beauty that I should be achieving? Like, so you, like, sometimes, I don't know, it's just like, it's not about not being confident who you are. I hate when people are like, oh, damn, you just shut up. Like, no, it's not what the fuck I'm just saying. Sometimes you have these, like, seeds planted in you, okay, because of what is around us. Like, and we can't help it. You could do so much. You could do all the blocking and muting of content and not watching this show and not watching that. There's gonna be something that comes up that will make you doubt, or that will plant this seed and make you wonder, would I be even prettier if I look like that? So it's just natural. So I say that to say, like, I just, whoever is struggling with that also, I just think it's important to remember just your body as it is, and not fret so much on what the other person looks like, because oftentimes they're sick. That's all I wanted to say. Oftentimes they're just sick. They're so slim because they're suffering through a physical ailment. And one of the symptoms is massive weight loss. That's why they look like that. So it's not like, oh my gosh, this person's so disciplined and they lost so much weight. Oh my gosh, this person didn't order McDonald's. And look, they're only eating kale. No, they're fucking sick. Megan and Party were previously hot on each other's tails after going public with their relationship in 2021. The two rappers met during the creation of Megan and Beyonce's Savage remix and continued dating through the trial of rapper Tory Lanez, who was sentenced to 10 years for shooting her in the foot. Allegedly. Why didn't they say allegedly? That's fucked up. I think he's gonna be freed before the 10 years. So let's see how that works out. Although Party shared supporting messages about Megan online, he was not by her side when she showed up to testify at trial. Things appeared to be on the hush-hush until breakup rumors began to spiral back after Megan was spotted in Italy with Belgian soccer player Romelu Lukaku. That's the guy I was talking about, the brolic football player. Party has been spotted in several videos online and at outings with rumored girlfriend Jamaican singer Jada. I didn't know. Oh, let's look her up. How she look like? I did not know he was seeing someone else. Good for him, because I just thought it was her. I only was seeing her, Megan, moving on. So shout out to him. Let's see if there's pictures of them together. She looks cute. Let's see. She has that Toni Braxton haircut. Okay. I guess that was just that one photo. But anyway, so he is reportedly with her now. And anyway, so Megan Thee Stallion threw the first shot. So Megan, like I said, in her diss track called Cobra, a line in there says that accuses him of cheating. And I want to just get into what he says in response. So basically, he's really speaking to her character in his diss. He is speaking to her character. He talks about how he feels disgusted and dirty by the cover to her. Oh wait, actually no, it's something else. My bad. Not dirty. Let's see if I can find it. He basically calls out that she is someone who is dishonest. She didn't come forward before it got revealed to the public that she did sleep with the people that were brought up during her trial with Tory Lanez. And he was so taken aback because he really supported her. He really cared about her. And she clearly did not feel the same way, at least to show through her actions. So he spoke about that. He spoke about how she lied on, you know how people be like, I put that on my mom, I put that on my kid. And she did a lot of that, apparently, allegedly, throughout their relationship during this time. And it just resulted into their demise. So I just think this is very interesting because for a while, it was the only answer to their demise was, oh, he cheated, and you know, Megan reveals it in the song Cobra, and you know, yada yada yada. Yet it's so funny because just before she released that song, Party was revered as this very much loved and admired boyfriend. Like, oh my gosh, look at him supporting his girlfriend. Oh my gosh, look at him knowing what to do with a woman like Megan Thee Stallion, you know, knowing how to handle the stallion that she is. So he was really seen as that guy. But you know, it just didn't work out. So it's just very interesting because Party is getting a lot of backlash because he is a man and men should just get over it, and men shouldn't you know, talk bad about women no matter what they say about him. And it's like, nah, he's a human being and he deserves to say his piece. And I support it. So shout out to that. Shout out to him. Tyrese, I just had to add this topic in because I remember I remember reading this not too long ago. So Tyrese, and I try to cape for Tyrese as much as I can, but damn, this nigga makes it hard. God damn, he makes it hard. And I'm saying that because I feel like something is a little off. And I know he's off his meds. So I'm happy that he is off his meds and he is no longer dealing with the repercussions of being on the meds that he was on, the psych meds that he was on. The reason why I'm saying something's off with him is he often talks about, like, he often communicates in a spaced out way. Like, he's not really aware of what he's saying. Maybe I'm off because I feel like I talk like that. No, like, if you just look at how he writes his captions on Instagram, the way that he places his capital letters and his lowercase letters, the way he spaces out things, the way he acts in the video. I was watching a video of his on his Instagram of him and his new girlfriend, this girl named Zuli. Sorry, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, I guess. But if you just go on his Instagram, you'll know who I'm talking about. Her name starts with a Z. And I feel like, I don't know, like, it's something that's off. Like, something is off. She just seems like she has nothing up there, like nothing in her head. And look, I follow a lot of influencers online because I just enjoy some of the content that they produce. So I like to follow them. Sounds so, you know what I mean. Anyway, but she's an influencer as well. I don't follow her necessarily, but I decided to just check out her content. And she has so many subscribers. Like, she has at least 50,000 subscribers. And I guess relatively that's not a lot compared to someone who has 100,000. But considering I'm someone who has 80 subscribers, which I appreciate, don't get me wrong. Look, I got 80 more than what I had 80 subscribers ago. So I am so grateful. But the point is, as I was watching her clearly successful channel, I was looking at the videos and I'm just like trying to understand what value does this bring me, or what can I find about her content that I find to be enjoyable. And you know me, I'm not really much of a say no, like, you know, like super luxurious type of brands. And I'm not saying that to hate on that. I feel like before I've come on this podcast and I say a lot about, oh, I'm not materialistic, I'm not. And I feel like that also came from a place of envy, like, oh, because I can't afford it, that's why I'm not materialistic. And no, I can't. I just gotta save up for it. Right? No, but the point is, I think that also came from a place of envy. So I'm recognizing that. So I do want to say there's nothing wrong with wanting nicer things and things that have these expensive labels on them. That's totally fine. But what I do find to be a bit obnoxious is when that's all you have or that's all you talk about. And that's your personality. Like, your personality is a Louis Vuitton bag. That's your personality. like you don't have anything added to the conversation that is valuable. It's just your Louis Vuitton bag, your Gucci purse, your, like, it's just that. And that is what I want to speak on, because when I was checking her content, there's a video of her. I think there's a market for that too. So I think that's obviously why she has so many subscribers, because there's a lot of people out here who do like seeing that, who do aspire to obtain those luxuries. And that's totally fine. You're well within your right. But that was all she talked about in the video. Like, it was literally her and bags of these expensive brands. And you know, with social media, it's really about perception. How can I make you perceive me as this luxurious being? And it doesn't necessarily mean that she owns those things, right? She definitely could have borrowed it for that moment, for that shot. She definitely could have rented that mansion that she's opening her gifts in. Like, not everything you see online is actual factual. It's totally not. So I'm saying that to say, just like, receive things with a grain of salt whenever it's especially done in a grandiose way. But yeah, when I was watching her videos, I'm just seeing like, okay, this girl is boring. Like, she's not funny. She doesn't have personality. And so Tyrese is dating her, you know? And so when I think about the women that he dates, and I just think like, it's just a lot about you. You know, like, and sure, I don't know their personal conversations or, you know, what they really talk about, you know, what values they have in common. So, like, I don't know, maybe she's, like, totally deep and sure, fine. But that didn't translate at all in any of the videos that I watched a few minutes in. And there was one video in which he was, like, letting her direct him in this pose for her influencer content. So oftentimes with influencers, they'll show behind the scenes of them influencing. So we saw a video of that on her channel. And he's just awkward and he's like standing in an angle and he's just like doesn't know what to do. And all he does is like smacks her ass and just like, what's going on? Like, it just felt weird. It felt really weird. And I guess it was just my first time realizing, man, maybe Tyrese is a little cuckoo. Like, aside from the meds that he since flushed out of his system, and aside from, the repercussions and the symptoms that he experienced from that, I just think he's just naturally like that. And maybe this just means that those who experience psychotic breaks from pharmaceuticals, they're experiencing that because they naturally were psychotic. So I really do wonder, maybe Tyrese was like this all along, and whatever drug he was on amplified that. I think I just solved a case. I think I cracked the case, T.O. Let me not say his name too much before he starts getting up. He's looking at me, tail about to wag out. About to wag out. But yeah, I think he's a little off. And I just think it's so interesting because I remember, seeing, like, when I was younger and when Tyrese was younger, like, he's more of he's a little plump now, which is totally fine, right? But he's not as muscular as he once was. He still looks good, don't get me wrong, but he's just not the same. Like, exactly the same. But yeah, so when he was younger, like, I'm thinking of, like, different music videos. How you gonna act like that? That video when he was just always showing his fucking guns, like his muscles were out all the time, and seeing how fine he was and is, don't get me wrong, but like how he was though, oh my gosh. And seeing someone like that and just instantly being attracted to that. But next thing you know, when you get into close quarters with him, you realize, oh, he's kind of weird. Something's a little off with this nigga. Like, and I just think about, like, dang. Granted, I do 100% believe all that he said about his wife. Well, his ex-wife now, Samantha Lee. Is it Lee? I don't think that's her last name. Is it Lee? Let's see. Yeah, Samantha Lee. I do believe all that he said about her. And how she basically bamboozled him. And he just, was very hurt. He didn't want the divorce, and he didn't do anything to get a divorce from. And he tried to fought for his marriage, but she just was like, nah. And he genuinely believes that she never loved him. And God, I felt his pain. Like, I felt so sorry for him. I totally believed him, and I believe him still. That doesn't change. But I think about, like, I wonder if the same applied to him if the same applied to him, to her, from what I just said about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying is, Samantha Lee, she's a beautiful woman, and I'm sure she could capture a man however she may want. And I think Tyrese may have been so infatuated by her beauty that he didn't pick up on things that should have made him, like, so same with Tyrese. He's so handsome and just like, oh my gosh, like, you just think about the songs that he sang and just the nostalgia that he brings. I think all of that is so captivating that you get so caught up in the rapture of that, and you don't realize, oh, he might be a little off. And for her, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, look at her, and oh, she might be a little off, right? So anyway, Tyrese asked his ex-wife Samantha Lee to change her last name. And he did this post in interview that he had with Joe Budden, which has been on the Patreon of the Joe Budden podcast for a while now. But Joe Budden's team is releasing episodes from the Patreon onto the YouTube platform for free. And this is one of the episodes they have released recently. And this was a very interesting interview. Like, when I watched it when it came out initially, I was really enthused and intrigued. Like, it was very intriguing because Tyrese is very emotional and just heartfelt, and it's like, ooh, like, he's heavy with it. He really sucks you in. And I think that's also a factor in why she made, I don't know, I'm looking at it from different lens, y'all. And it doesn't mean that I don't believe him or I don't agree with how he communicated their downfall, whatever. I do think she's in the wrong, but, I don't know them personally. I wasn't in their marriage. But I think about, like, how he is so heavy that could be a lot for people. Like, I think some people may grow tired of that. You know, maybe he's someone who you may have to walk on eggshells with. Or, you know, it's just, you can't have small talk. And look, I don't like small talk either, but sometimes I do like it for some people. Like, we don't have to talk about my childhood again. Like, we don't have to get into these heavy ass topics. Can we just talk about the weather? Like, even, like, you know, I talk about my coworkers and how, like, some of them just be asking for too much. Like, stop asking me how my weekend was. That's none of your concern. It's none of your concern. And stop poking more out of me. Like I said to y'all before in a previous episode, I have one coworker who just would ask me about my weekend, and when I would clearly give him short responses, like, oh, it was fine, I just chilled, didn't do too much, he'll prod some more. Oh, really? You didn't do too much? I mean, what do you, how's your class going? I remember one time I was like, oh, I didn't do too much, just watch some TV. I just watched some TV. And he's like, oh, what are you watching? What show is that? Get away from me, Apollo. God, like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, I should just say, I don't know. How was your day? I don't know. How was your weekend? I don't know. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. How you gonna tell me what I don't know? You know, like, back up. Oh, anyway, so shout out to Tyrese. But yeah, so he has said that he wants her to let go of his last name, to let go of the Gibson and leave it to her maiden name, which I thought it was interesting because her maiden name is Jewish as hell, okay? I'm not trying to get flagged or whatever, but it's like a typical, stereotypical Jewish last name. You know, so-called Jews, right? So her last name is that. And I remember when Tyrese first got with Samantha Lee, and mind you, they got married shortly after they met. And I think this also may have been a red flag because maybe he was looking past things that he shouldn't have looked past. And that could have been, you know, something that could have prevented them from going through what they're going through right now. But anyway, don't get me wrong. There are times when you meet someone and you just know and it works out, and that's great. But sometimes it doesn't. And this is a case of that. So I remember when they first got together, he got a lot of backlash because she is not a clear black woman. Like, she's not a clearly identifiable black woman. Instead, she is more ambiguous, and you can mistake her for Italian, for Hispanic, you know, anything but a black woman. Yet Tyrese would say over and over, no, she's a black woman, she's a black queen, and he would get so defensive in saying who she is. And it's like, no, nigga, she's half white. She's majority white, if you ask me. Okay? She's mixed with a lot of different things. I remember she said something about, like, her ethnic background. She's mixed with so many different races. So, and I say all that to say, her last name being Schwallenberg, something like that, definitely proves that she's not black. Like, can we cut it out, Tyrese? So anyway, we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every listen. Make sure you are subscribed, tell a friend to tell a friend, and consider joining the Patreon. I will check in with you all next time. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. If you liked it, leave a review, share, and subscribe. God bless.